Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2025 a Swiss Round 1 matchup between BKPKT Patrick and Angel FM. On tracking today is Alsoa, and I'll pass it over to our commentator for the race, Elendar. Take it away.
Good evening, everyone. This is the very early days of the tournament, but this, as people were saying in chat, this could be a finals race. Got former tournament champion Patrick versus finalist in the Upstarts tournament. Didn't quite get all the way, but did a damn good job, Angel. And both of these runners, I think, could very easily make a deep run in this tournament, but they will be making a deep run, one of them going to be doing so with a round one loss. Of course, we've got 5 rounds of Swiss to start us off, so no one's going to be eliminated immediately, but good to get some practice in, get some seeding could be very relevant coming out of these races. And we are off. And for, what seems like the millionth race in a row, we've got some islands in the west. And both runners going to take the same route pretty much. Nobody wants to do pass-throughs yet. Might as well check all the caves you can. Could be anything in here. Could be, I was going to say, could even be a boat. Probably not a boat. No one's playing Final Fantasy characters, but we got an immediate divergence. Angel going to take one of these pass-throughs, going through Rapid Cave, finding what looks like junk, and Patrick turning around and looking the other way. Angel's at least going to get rewarded with some XP. We got 50 for the oranges, 100 for the reds. Pretty good from those Dairas. Probably going to farm out at least an attack 2 here before taking an up A, because I don't think there's anything else on this side of the map. And Patrick does find our first item. It's a flute. And yeah, Angel confirming there's nothing hiding down there. Gonna have to be a route going south from the start. We 200 points from Patrick, gonna even the experience up. All right, we got a flute and a hammer early. Got a couple different minor items, just potentially useful for routing, but not hard required yet. All right, go east to find the raft. That's potentially useful. And smart little play from Patrick there, not picking up that 1-up. It could be useful if GP is just really awful, to have a couple 1-ups you know about that are close to start that you can grab on the way. And especially once you're at someone like Patrick's level of combat, those can be very helpful to break through some real tough GPs, as Patrick finds a bucket of water, one of the new findable items that's been shuffled into the item pool. It's going to let Patrick give some water to the thirsty lady out east. And we've got Bagu. Congrats. It's a heart container. Meanwhile, Angel gonna pick up, I missed the item here in Raru, but honestly, even if the item is not good, it's worth hanging out just to pick up hints this early. But it did seem like it was good enough for Angel to pick it up, so we're gonna see what it is real quick. Magic container. Not a terrible one. And Saria has the boots, but with no mirror, we're gonna have to go fight Guma to get some boots. Guma has sat on this mirror, somehow not crushed it. And just a link to all hanging out under the table. And Old Kasuto has the spell. All right, so some good hints hanging out there in Saria. We're gonna definitely want to do 5 as soon as we can. And Old Kasuto for spell, you know, maybe worth picking up. Hard to say. Yeah, Angel playing with a newer sprite. Patrick playing with one of the new sprite color options. There are a number of new available color options, both in terms of extra channels you can set and extra colors you can set them to, available in the new version. If you really like Chaos, you can play on random, but I don't recommend it. Yeah, and Angel, once again, looking to up A, but just gonna fight a couple things, finish up a level, and then up A after. Yeah, our runner's definitely gonna be looking not only to find P5, but to find a way to logically complete a P5. Well, even, I bet if I was gonna say, with these keys in the drop pool, if you did find P5, this bridge actually kind of a great place to sit down, and it very easily could be worth the effort to farm out some keys to do an out of a logic 5 just to get those boots. Here's a palace. It's not 5, it's 3 or 6. Didn't catch the item count. It is 1. Five, especially having an item hinted 5 can be a bit cruel. There could be up to 3 items in Palace 5. And so if you do have a hint that's something useful, speaking of 3 items, Angel has found a palace here. I missed what it is, but it's got 3 items in it, and yeah, that's P5. That's the right kind of pillar for P5. So yeah, Angel not in logic to clear this palace, but here's an item room. Here's a different item room. This one doesn't require a key. So gonna be one of our 3 items here. If this is boots, big win for Angel. Just a heart container. Okay. And Angel's gonna leave. But yeah, if now that Angel's found that, if Angel finds, like Patrick found that bridge with just a bunch of bagos with keys in their drop pool, I'd seriously consider just sitting down and farming out a couple keys, going back into P5, especially because there's that, at the very least, check that 1 item room just off the start. You know, it's 50-50 to be the boots at this point, and the sooner you can find the boots, the sooner this west is going to be made very easy. Angel picking up the hint that that linked fire is in there, but not going to be able to pick that up without some medicine. Neither runner wanting to walk through town to get that medicine hint. Patrick fighting a Tektite. The Tektite decides that it would rather die than give Patrick any experience. Down into the water it goes. Get a desert tile. Okay, that's that raft we had hint for. Good to find. The water tile still inaccessible. Yeah, and Angel just didn't see that key drop. Doesn't know yet that keys are in the pool, so not farming for them. A no items P4. means that we're definitely not going to have a P4 double dip today. 200 from the red Iron Knuckles. Unsurprising, Patrick gonna almost certainly gain a level here and then take an up 8 to refill lives. We do have 50-50 statues alternating on for this tournament, so you will always see them alternate bag and enemy. No more chains of 7 bags in a row when you're trying to get a couple hundred experience. Angel finds new Kasuto. Going to be a free heart container available. Basement accessible at 6 containers. And it's just across. And Angel finds new Kasuto. Patrick finds Spell. This sort of going back and forth of either player finding half the puzzle, right? Patrick found those keys. Angel found P5. Angel finds new Kasuto. Patrick finds the spell, but neither has both halves of the lockets to unlock the Seed's heart. Meanwhile, still no sighting or hint for any of the required spells or the glove. We did have, last night, one of the races was the somewhat unusual situation where Fairy was just not required at any point, and someone completed that seed without Fairy. You know, not going to give any spoilers in case people want to go back and watch the VODs, but just goes to show Fairy not always required, just, you know, pretty often required. Whereas Reflect and Thunder will definitely be required. We have Thunderbird required on, and all 6 gems going to need to be placed for the whole standard tournament. What's a blue Lizalfo worth this seed? And the full 500. Patrick thinking about Magic too, but nope, wants to stay on mostly attack and magic levels to try and get some big experience out of the palaces by keeping magic level low. And both runners crossing paths briefly in Old Kasuto. Neither runner wants to go get the Old Kasuto hint. It's a shame. There is a community text that I added in reminding everyone that the Old Kasuto hint exists. There will be someone who checks it in a race at some point in this tournament, I swear. I did intentionally check it in the one seed that I did to test my new setup and make sure there were no technical issues. Both runners beating up on some blue Lizalfos, but Patrick in the second item cave finds the shield spell. And 14, so that's definitely not going to convince him to take more magic levels quite yet. So we've got no items in 1, no items in 4. E5 has 3 items. And logically speaking, there has to be somewhere, almost certainly in this east, either the fairy spell or a magic key. That or a way to get to a new continent. And as I say that, Patrick has found Death Mountain. Is this Death Mountain? This is just another part of the West, it looks like. I missed him coming back to this. Maybe he'll find P5. I know Patrick has at least 2 keys in reserve at this point, so P finds P5. We're definitely going to see him dig out at least those first 2 items. And yeah, Angel also giving up on the east. I don't know how many keys Angel has, but if it is at least 1, I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to see a P5 check. We'll see where Angel goes here. Patrick going through these towns. He hadn't gone through and gotten those hints. Doesn't get anything useful. We could see both runners in P... Ah, here it is. Angel has found keys in the drop pool from these Boggle Boggos. So yeah, Angel has at least key now. Nope, Angel went back east. Not looking into P5. I was pretty sure P5 was on the west, right? Yeah. Patrick still hasn't found it. Angel gonna check this raft tile, wanting to see where this goes. Didn't see this earlier. Okay, here's a maze. You know what would make this maze a lot better is some boots. Very nice shield color for Angel's sprites. And just wants to kill this blue Lizalfos for the experience. Very understandable. This is a 3rd key for Patrick. But I don't know where exactly P5 was, but Angel not interested in going back, and Patrick not interested in exploring a little longer to find it. So Angel taking the raft route, Patrick defeating Larry to check out this bottom section. Still, you know, almost 20 minutes in, and neither runner has kind of any of the the really helpful items. Got some okay stuff, you know, open up some checks, but we got no stabs, no potentially required spells, no boots, no glove. Yeah, and I think that the rest of that maze might be boots blocked. Didn't get a full view of it, but I'm pretty sure that some boots are going to be required to get further on that maze. And Angel pretty sensibly decides there's got to be some logical way into palaces somewhere around here. Let me check the spell tower. And Patrick gonna go do the same. Saving a little bit of time. Patrick had spell coming in here, so doesn't have to single dip. And yeah, as expected, that is the fairy spell. So both runners at the same time getting pretty much the same time getting logical access to palaces. And so unfortunately we will not see any out of logic boots grab, but we will know if it was accessible out of logic. I'm really curious whether it was in that first item room or not. But we're not going to find out immediately because Angel's going to do P1 before P5. And Patrick is walking out. I guess he doesn't know P5 is on the west. He never found it. To say if he did, I feel like doing what Angel did and just up-Aing and clearing out West Palace is going to get those boots would be a smart plan. How much are Blue Iron Knuckles in the west? 200. Probably worth killing at this point. At the very least, to prime up for what is probably Life 6 from the boss. And a big down elevator for Angel finds a left in this basement area. So Patrick is in a different palace. I missed which one this is. It's one of them on the east, so probably, if I had to guess, probably P3. Makes sense. There was a boss. And Patrick just trying to get a little bit of extra experience, making sure that he'll be able to go up and get a good level up as well. And yeah, it is P3. So we're going to see what is a not easy down stabless rebo for Patrick, but he's going to make it look easy. Meanwhile, Angel making Horsehead look easy, but that's pretty normal. Shield Spell doing some good work. And Angel puts up his first gem to be just a tad ahead of Patrick. And, oh, interesting. Patrick did get enough experience. He could have ramped up, decides to just take the double level instead. But he's going to be 446, I think. 455, okay. And then it is going to be, there's a fairly low Life 6. Patrick going back in, did not get the one item from this P3. Whereas there was no items in P1, so Angel just immediately leaving. And I bet we're going to see a P5 check. We are, but first, Angel double checking this town. Yep, it is P-Bag Town, so not important. So first question, that I'm very interested in, is this first item room down the elevator going to be the one that has the boots, or are we gonna have to do some digging? We are not going. The boots were behind that mirror, right? Yes. So, yeah, runners could have potentially gotten some early boots out of logic, but Patrick just never found this place, and Angel didn't get the key drop in order to get the early mirror. Still one more item in here, probably worth looking for. Depends on how awful this P5 ends up being. Patrick picking up another level in P3, conveniently right before this item room, so he'll be able to up A without wasting much experience. Gets a magic key for his troubles. Very nice. Probably going to make Patrick regret his choice to take some extra magic levels, but that is what it is. He's going to be just fine. He's on pace for like a 667 or something like that going into GP. Old habits from Patrick, going and checking the fountain and then having to turn around to get the item from the lady. Alright, so life spell for Patrick. So he's got life and shield and 6 containers at what is almost certainly going to be life 7. It's going to be very healthy GP. And Angel has found the 3rd item here in 5 before the boss. It's a good fairy staff to be on full magic still, and is rewarded with a trophy. Probably not going to go turn that in for a P-bag. It is right next to the palace if you wanted to, but I think the time of digging for P-bags is past. Yeah, I believe, just looking at the maze again on Patrick's side, that we do have confirmation that that this maze is in fact boots blocked. So not only could our runners have potentially gotten an out of logic boots early, it would have saved time in a couple of different places. And Patrick is going to finish exploring the nothing here, but not going to get rewarded with anything. Oh, I guess there is you could get to the other half of this maze via the boots, but there is also a cave on the other side. So there's a segmented maze island bridgeable with either the boots or by going through DM to find that other cave. I think boots are going to be the far more likely option, as Angel is going to be out of this P5 in just a moment here, assuming that he can not take another hit. And a little bit short if this is 500, going to need a 700 experience from Guma here. Or potentially to go back and get a little bit more from another enemy. Very nice. 200. Oof. That's definitely not going to have Angel go back with the min roll on Guma. But this is attack 5, so not an unwelcome level anyway. Oh, it's not attack 5, it's life 7. So rude. When you are on 6 containers and life 6, you really don't want life 7 over 7 containers. Life 7 over attack 5 just feels terrible. And now let's hope Angel remembers how to get to Saria, because I do not. I know it's here on the west. I know both runners have seen it. And with Fairy, they'll be able to get to it from either side. Speaking of Fairy, Angel with a very clutch save from the lava. Not interested in a bucket of water. Already knows what spell is in that town. Do not need it. I believe that is the life spell behind that water. And again, with 7 bars, life 7, and a shield spell already, Angel just, like, very much does not need life spell at this point. Meanwhile, Patrick also choosing to do P1 as his first palace in the west and blasts it down. We'll see if he finds P5. The last remaining palace in the west is GP, so I'm not going to be doing that one. And despite knowing where the boots are early, Angel going to be almost 32 minutes in, first one with the boots. That's going to crack open Maze Island. That's going to give Angel access to anything left on the west. I think there are a couple more item caves that were still inaccessible without the boots. And I don't think it's going to be that useful in the mountainous east, but I do think there was a little bit of a water patch by the start that could potentially be useful. But Angel is going back east first. And gonna put using those boots on hold and do P3. Makes sense. Now is the time for doing palaces. Still no sign whatsoever of Glove, Thunder, or Reflect. But kind of a lot of garbage for our runners. With, I don't know precisely how many item caves are left in the west, but I don't know. I feel like you have so many things you still need that I would want to check those easy locations, you know, in the west with the boots. Mark those off first. Just, you know, the likelihood of one of them having an item you need is pretty high, and then also just give you more chances to have the glove before digging palaces, although this P3, not much of a palace. Yeah, and Patrick is looking around. He does not know where P5 is, and he knows there's a palace in the west that he needs to find. He's hoping it's P5, because that is logically where he needs to go. But he's going to have to look around and find it. Meanwhile, Angel also doing Downstabless Revo. I guess it's another reason to go, you know, look around and do Western locations. Angel could go get Downstab at any time now with Fairy Spell plus Boots. But it's a quick P3, so not really costing much time either way. Barba Sleuthers with a Thunder Spell. This is the first time our runners have gone in to check the hints here, and Patrick with a huge one. And so I think P6 is the one, definitely the, I think we've confirmed now it's the one in P1. Silvers are at Palace 1. That's not a real hint. Wrong, rando. But yeah, Maze Island having a palace that I believe is definitely, we've confirmed the, I guess we haven't seen Death Valley either. So one of Maze Island and Death Valley. It's gonna have our Thunder Spell. Maze Island's got 2 more things in it. Yeah, man, I would be wanting to check these overworld checks because there's just so many good things that could possibly be there. And I mean, there is, benefit if you can find the thing you want in a palace. But there's so much risk of a glove block. And maybe, maybe you just feel like you need to gamble, but I would at least be wanting to go get down stab and check some of the surface level stuff. But hey, here, Maze Island is good. Maze Island is high density checks. Good likelihood of it being P6. And hey, talking about the maze, there's a glove. All we need is to find Reflect on the other item here, and Angel's just blasting. Anyone who likes the community text, we have a channel in the Discord with any suggestions for things people want to add. I do try to make sure I get through and add the good ones occasionally. Always like to add little references to our other sister randomizers. So far, none of our palaces have had a glove block. Very unlike yesterday's or last night's seed that I commentated, where there were sort of glove blocks everywhere and people were just hunting for the glove. Here, sort of found the glove by accident and not really any glove blocks to stop anyone. And man, this attack 5 for Angel is just melting everything. So much better than attack 4 was. And with that much life 7, Angel just doing some little damage boosts, some backstabs, stopping as little as possible to just plow through here. Meanwhile, Patrick's still looking around, struggling to... I think he's in the east now. He just gave up on finding P5. Gonna maybe go to Valley of Death here. Hoping that's P5. I don't even remember where Valley of Death is in here. I guess I'd say Angel's getting a little bogged down by this a little bit combat heavy room, decides to say, you know what, I've got magic, I'm casting fairy, forget it. Still very expensive at Magic 3, but not as critical anymore now that Angel has a magic key. But also has death. And this room that Angel's in right now, He's got one of the more subtle pieces of new technology with the elevator that spawns at a high level. one of the new things that got added for this version of the rando. There's some surprising technical limitations in the way rooms are constructed for vanilla games, and a good number of those were bypassed in this new version. And yeah, as expected, Patrick going through Valley of Death, hoping that it's P5. We know it's not, but it is P6, so he will get his Thunder Spell, as long as we avoid any glove blocks. Yeah, wow, even at Magic 5, 58 for Fairy. Patrick not able to afford a second cast. So good news for Patrick. There's only one item here, and we know it's Thunderspell. So not going to waste any time looking for items that are not required. Is going to get a required item. But bad news for Patrick, not the boots. And wow, the second item in Maze was Reflect Spell. So we went from still not having a bunch of the required stuff to basically having all of the required stuff wrapped up for Angel in a pretty quick amount of time. Those boots were, as expected, the key to the seed. And now Angel just needs to hit up the last two palaces, get Thunder in P6, and Angel's going to be in GP almost certainly sub-hour. Unfortunately, Patrick just not finding P5, really just costing him a ton of time on exploration. Yeah, the mirror was required for reflecting today. Aaron with a good point. We needed mirror for boots. I guess it's possible that there was a back way into the maze, right? That cave is there, so it's possible that there was another way to go around and come in from that cave. Although it would have to be in Death Mountain at this point. So I guess it could be in the west. It could be in the west on one of the islands that were only accessible via boots, though obviously that doesn't help a ton, because if you have boots, you can just go get the just go in the other way. But oh, no. Angel getting or Patrick getting bopped and thinks about casting Fairy, but nope, cannot cast Fairy. Good trick for Patrick there. Resetting the room if you take a death. If you come in the room normally instead of spawning and you hold right the whole time, Barba will always be in the right pit to start. So that's why he walked off the screen and back in, to force Barba to be in the right pit, to save a little bit of time. There is a consistent timing from respawn if you just are holding in right as you respawn. But I do not remember which pit it is. Angel finds some drops and takes a couple drops down into this dead end room. So we do know, and this is a point I was talking about in an earlier race, drops can never strand you in this room type, in this palace type. So anytime you drop, you're always going to be able to either find the entrance, the boss, or a loop back to where you were. In this case, it looks like Angel has looped back to where he came in from. And as expected, after beating the boss, Patrick is gonna take another lava bath. Oof. But yeah, Patrick wants to keep looking for the Thunder Spell here. He knows it's the Thunder Spell. Ooh, almost takes a taste of the lava. Thankfully, the hitboxes on the lava have been fixed. They no longer extend way above what their actual graphics look like. Ooh, and a jump required room. Man, that room is not common. It is not common to have a jump requirement in palaces, but it may be that the jump spell is needed to beat this seed, and I have no clue where that is. We've seen no information about jump. I mean, there's not that many locations left to check. There's the extra overworld locations that are boots blocked that Angel didn't check. There's still 2 checks in Death Mountain. And I guess I think we've seen every palace item at this point. There weren't a ton of them. Yeah, jump in Hammer Cave. That is a pretty rude spot. We still haven't seen any Death Mountain. I mean, the cave on the maze almost certainly leads to it, so that would be the easiest way to find it. But Patrick is going to check every spot that he can before determining this is definitely jump blocked, but Patrick thinking of taking the bottom route, just uses fairy on the top route. There's another glove block, so it could be the item is glove block. The item could be jump block. Here's a glove or fairy block, so Patrick gonna be able to clear this. Angel taking another death trying to get through the valley on their last life, but no more encounters. We'll be able to take a quick up A here. Yeah, that's a dead end. So the Thunder Spell in P6 is going to be glove or jump blocked. And man, this routing for Patrick is just unfortunate. That the seed gave you the hints, right? That what you needed to do was go to P5, but Patrick just never finding it. Unfortunately, everything else that he tries is just not going to give him the progression he needs. Oh yeah, sorry. Good point. Definitely glove blocked, maybe also jump blocked, because the jump block also requires glove. And we will see as Angel comes into P6 which of those it is. I don't think Angel has jump spell, but does have glove. So I really appreciate these kind of scenes. Yeah, and Angel demonstrating that bullet robe is a lot easier when you have glove. I don't know if Angel does know that this is Thunder, but also there's roughly a 0% chance Angel is going to leave this item unless, as I say, here's the item room now, but I was going to say basically 0% chance Angel decides to abandon this just because going back to P6 would be awful. And yeah, just having that glove, letting Angel just blast through those bricks, and this is a sensible route, right? Like you wanna be up higher, and that just funnel Angel directly to the item. Although Angel is going to get a little bit astray heading right there, but we'll see how long it takes him to find the the boss here. Yeah, Patrick did finally find P5, immediately gets his mirror, gets the other item here, and almost he's gonna just go through and clear this P5 out. He's here, gonna have no problem even without the glove, but unfortunately, Angel just pretty much fully in go mode at this point. Just has to find a way through this P6. Quick up A, GP very close to start. And yeah, just at this point, just a bunch of Angel, unfortunately, despite finding the item early, is pretty much finding every dead end here in P6. So gonna not really save any time over Patrick in P6 routing. Just going left again. But I don't think this is the way either. I think this is the way that leads to the jump glove block. Maybe I'm wrong. Remember fully, it's hard to keep a map. Okay, to the left here is the jump glove block. To the right here, I think, is the boss. And some quick stabbing from Angel. Nice Barba fight. And that 1,000 is going to be enough to reward Angel with almost certainly a bunch of magic levels. But he could take attack 7 if he wants. We know attack 6 is cheating, but attack 7 is just good fair play. Okay, sensibly decide to take the magic levels instead. I'm pretty sure Angel did have enough for Thunder without those magic levels, but it doesn't hurt. You know, maybe bring down the cost of shield. Maybe make Thunder a little bit cheaper. Give you a little bit extra safety in GP. And speaking of GP, we're going to be there in probably about 10 seconds. Oh, maybe not. Angel finds a trap encounter. Doing a quick reset. Angel's looking for something. Maybe doesn't remember exactly where GP is. Okay. Is it that house? How was that palace? Oh, you know what Angel doesn't have? Angel doesn't have down stab. Did Angel ever go back and get down stab? I don't think so. Angel has stab is neither down nor up. And yeah, down stab blocks are decently common in GP, and a number of the down stab blocks are up stab blocks when you're going the other way, so a sensible, responsible decision by Angel to go pick up these stabs before going into GP. Up happens to be reasonably close, so it's going to be up first. Angel saving an incredibly small amount of time there by casting Fairy to get the Fairy acceleration rather than Link's normal acceleration. May have saved a frame. But Angel has played quite a bit of Vanilla Z1 or Vanilla Z2, and so those are you know little tricks that you know about, save you a frame or two here or there. There's no reason not to just press the button again. And yeah, now we're gonna see a hunt for down stab. Like I said, I would have probably made this hunt as soon as I got boots, but Angel demonstrating some excellent combat. You don't need down stab. Yeah, Angel's played a ton of Z2R recently. Like I said, almost a champion in Upstarts, got defeated in the finals, but some real quick times in the async rounds, and I think Angel gonna be a breakout player in this tournament. I think it's their tournament. The Wizard, I can't believe it's boots. I can believe it's boots. There was a hint. Also, we saw 30 minutes ago. Okay, and yeah. Angel finishing the stab responsibility tour. Picking up down stab to go with up stab. And now we're going to see GP. And nothing going to stop him now. I believe there was a submission for a glove block to him in GP, and I don't think it ended up making it. I'm pretty sure I caught it because it's kind of a weird random thing to have, and community sentiment wasn't great on it. So Angel gonna have anything he can need to clear this GP out. At this point, what Patrick's gonna be hoping for has got to be pain. Just the ruder and the meaner this GP is, the more opportunity Patrick has to catch up from a game over or two. But, 6, 8, 7 containers of magic and life for Angel. No life spell, but Angel does have shield. Is going to make this a lot safer. It's an it's an interesting elevator, but yeah, I think you gotta take this drop. This drop doesn't lead towards any section of the palace that we've seen before, although there is quite a bit of palace down here. But this is now below the entrance. And wow, yeah, just take the drop, do some standard rooting, and quick Thunderbird. I say standard routing. Angel did take a left into a drop, but there were no rights, so taking the first left makes sense. And yeah, in this palace style, drops are good. Drops are, especially in GP, you should really consider taking drops when you get the option. Angel having a little bit of trouble, but Life 8 and Shield Spell getting him through. And now the question is just, where's Darklink? Number of rooms that got added to GP, showing off GP bats, which were only in one room before. And yeah, wow, this is like almost minimum length GP. And that was a quick one for Angel. And with some quick stabs, Angel gonna be our winner. Official time 1 hour 41 seconds. So get your GGs in chat. And Patrick has not quit the race, but chatting in the race room. Probably gonna call it. We'll see. Yeah, and Patrick knows that not finding P5 just really sunk him in this race. I mean, he knew P5 was where progression was, but just there was couldn't find it, and just checked a bunch of stuff and said that ended up not being right. Yeah, Angel is pretty good. And we will have Angel in the booth to chat in just a minute. Looks like Patrick is gonna play this out, at least for a bit. And everyone can admire the lovely stat screen. And this is a wild stat screen. 16 down stabs, 2 up stabs. Is a crazy low number to have just got them all the way at the end. And we have Angel with us. GG.
Hey, appreciate it.
That was we were just commenting. I was just commenting at the end. 2 up stabs, 16 down stabs. I mean, Patrick said in the race room, sort of the story of the seed is you found P5 and he didn't, and there were hints abound that P5 was the thing to do. So
yeah, once I saw about the boots and then found P5, I mean I did the little dip early just to see, hey, maybe I get the mirror really quick or something.
What's interesting is at the beginning of the seed, there were a bunch of places where you had found one thing and Patrick had found the other thing. Like Patrick had found Spell, but you had found New Kasudo. And you had found P5. Patrick found there was a bridge on the west with Bagos that dropped keys, and Patrick got a couple keys from that bridge early. So if he found P5, he was almost certainly going to get boots early, and just didn't.
Oh, that sucks to hear. Like, yeah, I mean, once I saw that, like I said, I just took the chance the first time, just like, oh, let me just do a little quick check, and then immediate item, and then that's key blocked, immediate item, that's not, and unfortunately it had to be the heart, so then just do the entire east around, and come to find out, I need spell for fairy.
Yeah, you both ended up getting fairy at almost the same time, despite the fact that it was maybe 15 minutes apart that you got spell. It's just, again, you had one piece of the puzzle and Patrick had the other, and in a number of places, but yeah, knowing where P5 was ended up being the important one.
Yeah, especially too when you can't cross through the maze without the boots. So,
yeah. I was hoping that it was going to be segmented maze, because there was that cave there, but there was no other way to get into DM.
Yeah. So I mean, otherwise, I mean, everything went by pretty quick for the most part.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I was interested in the only piece of routing I thought was interesting was when you got those boots. I would have sworn up and down the first thing you were going to do is check. You had a couple locations I think in the west left to check it. Go get downstab, and I was off by about 30 minutes on when you ended up going to get downstab, but turned out not to be an issue. A whole bunch of life and attack levels made it not terribly difficult.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable without having to go get the stabs right away, unless I feel like there's something that's really gonna cause me an issue. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times I've done like all the palaces before I even gotten one of the stabs.
Yeah, and then I forgot about the stabs. When you got that last gem in up 8, I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna see Angel in GP in just a second, and then you started looking around like, what's Angel do? Is like, oh yeah, stabs. Those are good. Those are probably worth getting.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Darunia, but I could not figure out where Mito was at all. Like, I know I seen it, and I'm like, somewhere.
In the looking for P5, Patrick had found it a lot before you did, and went in to get the hints. There was a hint for a Thunder in P6 in there.
Yeah, I've been pretty, like, I don't know, with the whole shuffle and everything, I've just been kind of like, if there's not someone who's sitting outside for a hint, I haven't really bothered entering any of the rooms.
Yeah, it's interesting because I made a little bit of an effort to try and make the hints a little bit better, just because with there being so many things in the shuffle, they were feeling a bit lame. But I mean, it helped that with P6 being in Valley of Death, like I was saying, there was basically no way that you weren't going to get one of them. Because, like, if you go into a palace in Valley of Death and don't get the items, you're just accepting you're never going to get them, right? Like, so pretty much anyone's going to be like, all right, there's only one item in P6, let me go get it.
Yeah, and there's also like, I'm pretty comfortable with the way how the palaces are designed with the random walk. So where Thunder was, I was like, okay, well, there's a room right above to the left here, I guess. So either I'm gonna hit a dead end, or it's gonna be an up or something, or it's gonna be an item or something. So
yeah, unfortunately, Patrick did 6 early and didn't have the glove, relatively early before you did, and didn't have the glove and was unable to get that Thunder spell. So he knows it's Thunder. He's gotten that hint, but he's gonna have to go back into P6. Now that he's got the glove and clear that out. It just, not only did Patrick not find those boots, but like everything in this seed was behind those boots, right? The reflect spell, Thunder was glove, which needed boots, glove was boots, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much everything was blocked by that.
Yeah, at least, like I said, the seed was nice and gave you both a hint about, right, the boots were key to the seed, but like you knew where they were, you just had to put some pieces together to get them.
Yeah, I also think it's gonna be interesting too. I want to see how Patrick does GP, because after that first right end, I'm like, okay, you know what? I was thinking about taking the up left. I'm like, no, let me stay down left just in case there is a drop or something. And seeing that drop room.
Yeah, well, if you did take the up left, there was an elevator like on that connection, so you potentially could have taken the elevator down into the drop room anyway.
Yeah, it's fair, but yeah, I was just like, I just figured like I'm just gonna stay down, and if I find a drop, that's my key to go. Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty sensible routing, and I'm gonna have to look after. I think that was actually the 8-room minimum.
It had to be.
Yeah, I want to double check just to make sure it wasn't like 7 or something like that there's a bug, but yeah, that was either at minimum or very close to it. So yeah, just ended up being a quick one, and I'm looking at the stats. Really, just didn't spend a whole bunch of time in palaces you didn't need to. 3 minutes 24 seconds in GP. Wow, that's a quick one. Patrick just getting to Karak now. Very quick Karak, getting lucky. And unfortunately, he is going to have to take his double dip into P6 now to get that Thunder Spell. Is the people asking about? Just want to check the coverage. There's another race tonight. I know there's another race going on concurrently with this one, but there is, I think, another race tonight at 10 or 11. I think.
10 o'clock. There's Alan.
Yeah.
Custom.
So if we have a crew for that, it should be able to get that one going. But yeah, I mean, any other? I don't want to take up all your time. But do you have any other thoughts on this race, or?
Not really. I mean, again, it's just like I did a lot more walking around everything that I thought I would do. But yeah, I mean, otherwise it went pretty well. I'm just gonna wait for Patrick anyway, so.
Yeah. Feel free to hang out. I mean, Patrick has all the pieces put together. He knows exactly what he needs to do, and he's just blasted at this point. So not going to be too much longer. Pretty high likelihood his GP ends up being as quick as yours was. Big question is just going to be: does he remember how to get to the item here? You didn't see, and Patrick did see in this P6. There is the jump required room is in here, and so there's something behind that Patrick saw that room, but that room also requires gloves, so he was unable to clear that either.
That is probably my least favorite room right now.
I'm sorry, that one was one of mine.
No, I'm just saying basically for mainly in GP when. If you come across that room in GP and you don't have jump,
is that room in GP? I wasn't sure if we actually. I thought that one ended up getting disabled before release. I can check the room pool. For people who haven't seen, Anitsu has a good website that's linked in the Discord somewhere. That is a tool that you can use to. There is one in GP and ended up making it. Okay.
Oh yeah, especially too when you decide to down stab or do the lower blocks and it's the 50-50 jar red Faka. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we were going back and forth on whether that one was actually going to make it into the flag set. If there are rooms that people, do and don't like, definitely drop your feedback. We probably will do another pass on either removing or improving some rooms that people don't like after the tournament, but no changes will be made to the rooms until the end of the tournament, just for competitive integrity.
Yeah, if it stays, it stays. If it goes, it goes. I mean, it's just it's just.
I appreciate people's feedback on stuff that they do and don't like. Because if everybody hates a particular room, there's no reason to keep it.
Get rid of the Happy Little Trees room. Thank you.
What's wrong with the Happy Little Trees room? I like that room.
Oh, no, Aaron's just in chat, so we're just gonna say it.
Oh, okay. I mean, Aaron submitted more rooms than anyone else by quite a bit.
I am shocked by that statement.
Aaron submitted the most rooms, and then the second most rooms is either me or Anitsu. We both added a bunch of rooms because we needed rooms with particular properties. Yep, and the jump room is in fact not the way to go. Yeah, it's as many rooms as Aaron submitted that made it. At least an equal number did not get approved. Either because they were not fun or had technical issues. That was one of the most common reasons rooms got rejected, was just that they don't actually work. Unfortunately, Zelda 2 does have a bunch of restrictions on the kinds of things that do and don't work in rooms. And some of them were fixed Shoutouts to Anitsu and J-Ro for fixing some of the underlying technical limitations in rooms, but some of them were not fixed and still left. Okay, yeah, Patrick figured it out. This left is smart because you know the room one to the left of this is an elevator room. This room has to be a dead end.
Yeah, it's either that or it's going to be an up. So it's one of the two that come across.
But both of you correctly figured out based on the shape of the palace that room was very likely to be the item room and checked it first, which is good routing. And okay, Patrick's in GP. Let's see how quick this one is. Maybe he's 3:24 is the time to beat to clear this GP. And probably going to see the same routing from him. I'm going to check this right. It's going to be a dead end. Up A, marginally faster than walking back there. Alternating 50-50s being very nice for Patrick, making sure that he knows he's going to be able to make it through with just 2 casts of jump. Unfortunately, I think Patrick's chances of beating 3 minutes 24 basically out the window here. And I think it's just a couple more rooms to Dark Link here. This is a fun one. I don't see this one too often. Anytime you get to see the GP bats is a good time. And with those stabs, Patrick has finished with an official time 1:23.23. Get your GDs in chat. Yes, bats in GP do not randomize. And we'll see if Patrick feels like coming in and having a chat about this one, or if he wants to just forget this one as fast as possible.
He put in the race chat that he's not coming in for an interview.
Okay, understandable. I'd missed that one. I will see if Patrick brings up his stats. Not going to get any stats from Patrick. Understandable. But any final thoughts before we take this one away?
No, just thank you, Elendar. Thank you, Slacker, for doing it. Also for tracking. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. GG's. Thanks, everybody, and have a good night.
And we will see you next time.